when I came home from jail.
Which year did you come home?
I came home in 1991, right? And then I went to the feds from 1995 to 2000. So I came home from the feds in 2000, and that's when I never looked back. You know what I'm saying? And that's when, like, you know, it's 2022 now, so that was 22 years ago. And I've never looked back. And I truly credit that to my forgiveness and for my love for God. Those are the two things. Because by me doing that, I end up coming home from jail, right? And I didn't have nothing. I'm gonna be honest, true. I didn't have nothing. I had the letters and I had the people that was waiting for me to get there to go back to the block. Yo, I was, you know the stories. Yo, such and such thing came up since you left. Yo, I'll be glad when you get back. So that was offered to me. But I'm gonna tell you how God puts people in your life. My right-hand man had also went to jail for murder. You know what I'm saying? And he had came home from jail. And he started working with Uncle Paulie. We all know who Uncle Paulie is that was with Puff. And I used to
Uncle Paulie.
Right. I used to take him to Uncle Paulie every day. That was his job. And I was holding down Loon. We all know Loon. But Loon wasn't an everyday person. Loon was the, okay, I need you to hold me down when I got a show type person. But for me taking my man to Uncle Paulie every day, Uncle Paulie went to him, yo, I see your man, he be holding down Loon, yo, who that, da-da-da. Oh, that's my man Barnes, such, such, and such. All right, bring him down, I need a driver. And that's how I ended up getting with Puff, through Paul, through Nick. And it came down to one day. We all remember the infamous Jay-Z and R. Kelly situation.
Hold your thought, because I'm going to get there. I want to go backwards, and I just got a random question. I apologize. Right. When you was locked up, I know, I mean, a friend of yours, friend of mine, Black Rob, he was locked up around the same time. Was y'all ever locked up together?
We was together in Elmira in 88.
I figured y'all were.
I was in C block and Black Rob was in I block. You know what I'm saying? And that's how far back our relationship go, because we meant there. You know what I'm saying? All the way up until the day he died. That was where we met.
So, okay, was he up there rapping?
Black Rob was doing anything it took to get a dime, nickel, or penny. You know what I'm saying? He was one of them dudes that just was running around the jail like, you know, he was Rob. You know what I'm saying? He gonna hit you with some fly shit. He gonna hit you with some Harlem shit. At that particular time, I'm not gonna say he was fucked up, but you know, Rob, he got the name, Rob. He'll rob you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, he'll rob you, he'll run up in your locker, he'll go up underneath your bed, but we was all Harlem, so we try to keep Rob on the right lane. You know what I'm saying? But he made a lot of money. Like, if he rapped, you had to give him a carton of cigarettes. And anybody that he want to go up against, he's gonna smash him. And he was an iconic storyteller. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you hear that in his music.
Yeah.
You hear that in his music.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, you said you came home in 91. You went back in 95 to the feds. Why?
It's funny. I went, you know, no matter how much we tried to figure it out, I still was living with that stigma of that's Bonds. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, Bonds is with you no matter what. So a friend of mine had went to the feds for selling drugs. He had lied to me and told me he wasn't selling no more drugs. But of course, the streets talk. So somebody had ran off with 5 keys of coke. And he called me from the feds. And he said, yo, Bonds, somebody ran off on my girl with 5 keys. Now the dude is trying to tell me he got to fuck my girl. He got to do this, that, and the other in order for that money to be right. Can you go holler at him? So me being the type of dude that I am, I went to see the dude. You know what I'm saying? And me and the dude got into it, this, that, and the other. Listen, ain't nothing happening to her, this, that, and the other. Come to find out, when he calls me, he was already on the phone with the feds. So when the feds come, they come to me and say, look, we can't find this guy, but we know you could find him because we was on the phone when this happened and that happened. And I'm like, yo, for real? So make a long story short, once again, I'm being Bonds. They said, yo, you could go home right now because you ain't got nothing to do with this case. all you gotta do is show us where this guy is at. I said, man, y'all could pick 12 or y'all could do whatever y'all gonna do. And they gave me the maximum time for that charge, which was 5 years, for nothing but being on the telephone. So that's when I did another 5 years and I came home in 2000.
Damn. Okay. You came home, clearly you've been home for the last 22 years.
Right.
How'd you and Loon hook up?
Me and Loon grew up together from kids, really my brother. I got a little brother that's 8 years younger than me. So him and Loon was really, really close friends. So, you know, I was their OG. So when I came home, it was the same thing. You know, Loon had signed his deal. Yo, who we gonna get from uptown that we know gonna hold us down? Did that, yo, you know, Bonds is home, da-da-da. So that's how me and Loon hooked up.
Okay, a lot going on in Harlem. You got a whole lot of connections, but I'm segueing because a lot of people know you for your relationship with Bad Boy, your relationship with Puff.
Right.
Another Harlem legend, A$AP Ferg's father, D-Ferg.
Right.
Before you even got in the Bad Boy camp, this was your dude, and he got an interesting story with his relationship to Puff and the Bad Boy. So was he part of the reason that you even came into this camp?
Well, he wasn't part of the reason, but he was the reason. You know what I'm saying? Because that was my man. So if anybody know A$AP father, that's D-Ferg, he was the epitome of Harlem. Like, he wore Harlem on his shoulders. Like, wherever he went, he was Harlem. He had the store, Ferg Clothing, which was Harlem. He had the connection between Harlem and Queens. His man was supreme. You know what I'm saying? So these dudes all came uptown to see Ferg. You know what I'm saying? And Ferg was like, I remember I had seen Puff a couple of times at the store, a couple of times with Ferg, but like I said, we was on two different sides. You know, he was getting money, he was the industry, he was Mount Vernon, he was in Harlem, whereas I was just strictly Harlem and I was playing with those guns. You know what I'm saying? Ferg didn't play with the guns. You know, Ferg was strictly fly, but he wasn't no sucker, he wasn't no chump. You know what I'm saying? He held it down all the way. And I came in one day, he said, we on now, Barnes, we on. I said, what you mean? He said, yo, you remember my man that I showed you before, Puff? Like, I said, yeah. He said, yo, he just got X amount of million, yo. I just did the shirt, and he showed me the shirts. He showed me the Bad Boy logo with the shirts on, right? With the hat backwards and everything else like that. He showed me that, man. And I said, yeah, I seen him when I was up top. He was like, yeah, that's us, man. We on now. And it's a funny story because I seen him the next day. And I said, what's up, we on? He said, man, they gave me $5,000, boss. I said, 5,000? I said, hold up, you just gave me. He said, but that's all right, we gonna get this money. We gonna get this money. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he was just Bad Boy to the end of this day. And that made me have the interest. And when I went back up north and I came home from jail, it was like me and him was together. So I'm like, yo, what's up with this Bad Boy thing? He like, yo, you know, main man doing this thing. I said, yeah, this nigga's huge. Like this Diddy, like what you doing now? He's like, nah, I'm still doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? He had the store. He was one of those dudes, man, he was content. He was cool. He ain't have not one bad word to say or nothing. He just said it ain't turned out the way I thought, Barnes, but we still here. And it's crazy because we went to the club and we shut the store down. And he said, yo, I'm going to call you tomorrow as soon as I get finished dialysis. And I said, all right, bet. So he ain't called me at 3 o'clock. He was on dialysis from 12 to 3. So I said, he ain't called me or nothing. So I called him and his girl said, Barnes, he just passed on the dialysis machine. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that went. You know what I'm saying? I hate to talk about my man like that. You know what I'm saying? I get in my feelings with him. You know, he's a great dude. You know, and to see his son doing what he doing now is a blessing, man. It's a blessing.
Nah, R.I.P. D-Ferg, real talk. Like you can't talk about Harlem and not mention him. So I had to bring
Puff
him
came
into the
to the funeral. You know, he talked at the funeral.
As he should.
He handled his business at the funeral and everything. I just wish we all could have been together, especially now that I was coming into the camp. That would have just sealed the whole thing up.